Your Mac already has a free LLM built into it, and you're probably not using it. No API keys, no cloud, no subscriptions, no per-token billing. Apfel is the CLI that unlocks Apple's on-device foundation model, and it just hit the Hacker News front page. Every Mac with Apple Silicon ships with a built-in language model as part of Apple Intelligence. Apple provides the foundation models framework starting in macOS 26 to access it programmatically, but most developers have no idea it exists, let alone how to use it. Apfel changes that. It's a Swift CLI and HTTP server that wraps the foundation models framework into something you can actually use, from the terminal, from scripts, or from any application that speaks the OpenAI API. One homebrew install and you have a free, private, on-device LLM with a 4096 token context window. No accounts to create, no API keys to manage, no tokens to budget. The model is already sitting right there on your disk. Apfel just gives you the door to access it. Let's be clear about what this model is and isn't. Apple's on-device foundation model is not GPT-4 or Claude. It has a fixed 4096 token context window. That's input and output combined, roughly 3,000 English words total. It's a single non-configurable model, no embeddings, no vision, no model selection. But it's completely free, completely private, and completely offline. For code review of short diffs, git commit message generation, shell command translation, quick summaries, and scripting glue, it's more than enough. The key constraint is the Apple Intelligence Guardrail system, which can occasionally block benign prompts. Apfel offers a permissive flag that relaxes the guardrails for advanced users. The model runs on Apple's neural engine, so inference happens in seconds. Not fast by cloud PI standards, but fast enough for interactive terminal use. Getting started is one homebrew tap and install. Then you're running prompts immediately. Single-shot prompts work exactly like you'd expect. Pass a string, get a response. Streaming mode gives you token-by-token output. File attachments with the -f flag let you feed context. Pass a README for summarization, or pipe a git diff and a conventions file for code review. System prompts work inline or from files. Interactive chat mode with --chat gives you a persistent conversation with configurable context management. And quiet mode with -q strips all formatting for clean shell script integration. Pipe Apfel's output into JQ, grep, or any other Unix tool. Let's look at the repo. Apfel has 1,600 stars, and it's climbing fast after hitting the Hacker News front page with over 340 points. The codebase is clean Swift with 0 external dependencies. Everything builds against Apple's native frameworks. The README is exceptionally thorough, covering every flag, every context strategy, every exit code. There's a demo directory with practical shell scripts that show real-world usage patterns. The project includes a separate GUI companion app built with Swift UI, and the MIT license means you can use this in any context, personal, commercial, or embedded in other tools. Run apfel --serve, and you get an OpenAI-compatible HTTP server on localhost port 11434. This is the feature that makes Apfel genuinely useful beyond the CLI. Any tool or library that talks to the OpenAI API can now talk to your Mac's built-in model instead. The Python OpenAI SDK, curl, any HTTP client. Point the base URL at localhost:11434 and set the API key to anything. It supports streaming and non-streaming responses, tool calling with function definitions, bearer token authentication, chorus configuration, and concurrent request limiting. The /v1 models endpoint returns the single Apple Foundation model. The /health endpoint shows model status and context window info. For local development, testing, and prototyping, this replaces paid API calls with free on-device inference. Apfel supports MCP, Model Context Protocol, for tool integration. Pass one or more MCP servers with the MCP flag, and the model can call external tools during inference. The tool definitions are automatically converted from MCP's schema format to Apfel's native transcript tool definition. This means your MCP servers work without any modification. A calculator server, a weather API, a database query tool, Stack as many as you need with repeated MCP flags. Combined with the OpenAI-Compatible Server, this makes Apfel a local drop-in for development workflows where you'd normally call a cloud API with tool use. The model decides when to call tools, executes them, and incorporates the results, all on device. The demo directory is where Apfel really shows its practical value. The CMD script translates natural language to shell commands. Describe what you want. It generates the command, you confirm and execute. The one-liner script builds complex pipe chains from English descriptions. The WTD script, what's this directory, gives you instant project orientation by scanning files and explaining what the project does. The get_sum script summarizes recent repository activity. The explain script clarifies commands, errors, or code snippets. And the port script identifies which process is listening on a given port. These aren't toy examples. They're real daily use terminal utilities that demonstrate how having an on-device model with zero round-trip latency and absolutely no API cost fundamentally changes what's worth automating in your development workflow. With a 4096 token context window, how you manage conversation history matters. Apfel provides 5 configurable context strategies for chat mode. Newest first is the default. It keeps the most recent messages and drops the oldest when the window fills. Oldest first does the reverse, preserving the original context at the cost of recent history. Sliding window maintains a fixed size rolling window. Summarize is the most sophisticated. It automatically compresses older turns into a summary to preserve context without losing history. And strict mode hard fails if you exceed the context window rather than silently dropping messages. You can also set max turns and output token reservation to fine-tune how the budget is split between input and generation. These aren't academic features. With a 4K window, strategy selection directly impacts conversation quality. If you have a Mac with Apple Silicon and you want free private AI for terminal workflows, code reviews, commit messages, file summaries, command translation, Apfel is the zero-cost option that requires no accounts, no API keys, and no internet connection. If you're building tools that need an OpenAI-compatible endpoint for testing and development, Apfel gives you a local server that costs nothing to run. If you care about privacy and don't want your code or data leaving your machine, on-device inference is the strongest guarantee available. And if you're exploring MCP tool integrations, Apfel is a free local model that supports the full tool calling protocol. The 4K context window is a real limitation for complex multi-file tasks, but for the specific focused workflows Apfel targets, quick prompts, script integration glue, and daily terminal automation, it's genuinely useful and genuinely free. The model is already on your disk. Apfel just gives you the door. That's Apfel, the free AI already sitting on your Mac, now fully accessible from the command line and as an OpenAI-compatible local server. GitHub link in the description. Subscribe to Prism Labs for more developer tool breakdowns.